That sounds like an auto unit in there. I wonder if... Hello? How interesting.
Who are you?
Hey my fellow toy fans, welcome to this episode of Mixelpix Reviews. Today I'm looking at C-3PO. This is a 3.75 inch figure, and it is going to be the stand-in or maybe the permanent part of my vintage collection. This is specifically the C-3PO from Return of the Jedi with the Ewok throne. It is nicely gold-plated, unlike the current vintage collection version, as you can see here. And this is Saga Collection number 042. If you'd like to see more Star Wars figures that are part of my collection, you can check me out on Instagram at MixelPixLTD. It's not all about Star Wars, but I have posted more Star Wars related material there than here on my channel. Now, the reason for this particular character review is twofold. In the vintage collection, there is currently not a vac metallized version of C-3PO, and I've heard rumor that Hasbro has committed to not doing vac metallized figures. I hope that isn't true or that Hasbro will reconsider. The current vintage collection version is one that is an older release that has been reissued as of 2020, I think it might have been. And that is painted gold and not vac metallized, and I did want a vac metallized version of C-3PO like, you know, I played with as a kid. The reason for this particular character was that the other one that I bought, this one here from the Trilogy collection, I thought that was going to be my C-3PO. And upon opening it, I found out it had only 5 points of articulation. So no knee bends, no elbow bends, the head only turns side to side, and the vintage collection has a lot more articulation than that. And it broke quite readily out of the package. Not too surprising that plastic can be brittle after that was released in early 2000s, I think, maybe 2005 or 6 at latest. So, you know, it's like a 20-year-old figure at least. I tried to glue it and I wasn't satisfied with how it glued. It didn't glue so that it could swivel anymore. It was just going to be stuck in place. And then I trashed it and thought about resurrecting it and found out that when I resurrected it, one of the arms broke. So that was complete trash. Doing some more research brought me to this character, which does have knee bends. As you can see here in the package, he's not molded like this to sit forever. He can actually stand. And that is another reason why I decided on this figure. And I'm afraid that with the age of this thing, which is also quite old, maybe, I'm not sure how old, maybe 10, 15 years, I'm afraid that maybe this is going to break out of the package too. So I'm going to put this on video here to testify to whether or not this is going to actually become a stand-in in my vintage collection. Quick look at the back of the package. The Saga collection came with these hologram figures, quote unquote. And this one is actually Yoda wielding his lightsaber. So if you're into a little bit of an extra piece of collectible, there you go. All right, I'm going to open this guy up and we'll have the moment of truth. And out of the package we have hologram Yoda, an action figure stand for C-3PO, the carry poles for the Ewok throne, and 3PO and the Ewok throne. Unfortunately, C-3PO's leg was broken right out of the package. So unless I can get this to glue and hold and not crack again, then the search will have to continue for C-3PO for my collection. And I may end up having to get the actual vintage collection version, which is not ideal to my tastes and is also kind of pricey at this point, even with the reissue. So this looks similar to the plastic that was in the other C-3PO I had from the Trilogy collection. And I guess maybe they just have to use a special kind of plastic to make sure that the vac metallized metal sticks to the plastic. And so maybe it just has to be a brittler plastic. So unfortunately, he is broken out of the package. I'm going to glue his leg and we'll see if that works. Okay, this guy is just falling to pieces. If anybody needs a 3PO for a backpack for Chewbacca, like in Empire Strikes Back, maybe you can buy one of these and just let it fall to pieces and put it in that net. But at this point, yes, the plastic, I guess, is just so brittle that the second leg fell off, even though I could flex the knee on the gold leg. Let's see if this one breaks. So that flexes, but when I went to move the hip joint on the right leg, it just broke. And then the left leg fell to pieces even further. I'm going to say that there's no hope for this, and I'm going to have to see if I can get a vintage collection version. So if you're looking for an out-of-package version of C-3PO for your collection, I can't recommend you buying one of these brand new, as this one has just been falling apart on me. I would recommend that you keep it in package and just keep it as a collectible that way, or find the new vintage version of C-3PO, which is unfortunately not vac metalized. Like I said earlier, if you'd like to see Star Wars pictures of figures that I have in my collection that didn't fall apart like this, I have those on Instagram at MixelPixLTD. And thanks for joining me on this review and discovering with me that I will need to continue my search for C-3PO. All right, until next time, be good to yourselves and everybody else, and happy collecting.